I'm
How are
good,
you?
thank you. I mean, I'm like it is. So I just was very busy with in the morning, so I did not reply to your email. I was going to buy some food and water and had to pack my things. Then had to do some other stuff. So
Say pack your things, you're leaving the capital?
I'm not leaving. I just packed everything I need in case of emergency, and just if it's not emergency, but you know, when you have to leave the city.
When we spoke, do you reside in the city, within the city of Kyiv, or do you?
Yeah, I live on the left bank. You know, Kyiv, it's divided by the river. The right bank, it's central area, and left bank, it's like residential neighborhoods.
What are you seeing and hearing today? What have you seen or heard today?
Today in the morning, when I woke up, of course, I checked the information and made some calls with my relatives, with my sisters, and found out that I have to go to the shop because there are queues. So I rushed to the shop. There were lines to two shops, and there were bigger lines to the ATMs, like twice bigger than to the shops.
Did you
So
hear it? Did you hear any explosions in Kyiv?
we hear some kind of sound from time to time, and as I was explained by people who know that it's air protect systems. They destruct the Russian rockets in the air. I don't know how to translate it.
So you've been able to communicate with family and friends. That's not a
Yeah,
problem. You can use your cell service.
yeah. So far I can.
Okay. What you should know, and I'll give it to you in real time, about a half an hour ago, maybe earlier, major American outlets, including CNN, were reporting that, I think they reported that there was a cyber attack targeting key government ministries today. Have you heard anything from the Ukrainian media about cyber attacks?
It was yesterday.
It was yesterday.
Ministry, Cabinet of Ministers, Parliament, Ministry of Defense, and today as well, probably. But yesterday it was in the evening.
Okay. I know when we last spoke, Victoria, that a few days ago, you said Kyiv was relatively calm, although people were beginning to talk about the possibility of conflict, but that was in coffee houses, cafes, and so forth. Did anyone expect a full-scale invasion?
No. That's why people stayed here, and it was calm. It's still actually calm in the shops. Like, it's not that people are rushing or shouting. You know, it's quite decent. People are just standing silently in the lines and wait the turn to enter the shop. In the shop, they take whatever they need. It's not that people grab everything. They take something for, as I noticed, for 3, 4, 5 days, not more, like I did as well.
Okay. Do people in the city, in the capital, still feel relatively safe? I mean, you've been out today on the streets.
Well, I feel very stressed. I can't say what about people. I feel very stressed, of course. I don't know what to expect. And I heard that from the Belarus border already are like moving into Ukrainian territory. So, but I don't know if it's true. So I don't want to spread here fake news, because it's very important now not to spread fake news.
Right.
And you know that Ukrainian Forced Army is protecting the information, that not everything is revealed to us so far. Like They are doing their work very good so far, protecting as much as they can.
No, well, I'll ask you, what has President Zelensky said over, what was his last message to the Ukrainian people?
President Zelensky is giving messages every hour, I think. There is, he has social sites. There is an official site of Ukrainian president. You can see all these messages. He officially said 5 a.m. when it started. I think it's in an hour or less or more, there was his official speech that Russia started war. Then in an hour, and again, he gave speech about more information, what he was doing, what were his steps. Then in an hour, he gave another short, he is doing short videos. You can find it on the official Instagram and Facebook. It's all open. And he also did a very good thing. He addressed Russian citizens. He recorded a special speech in Russian language for Russian people, explaining to them that what's happening, that, you know, the truth, that they were brainwashed about us, that we are Nazi, fascists, and we do not want war, and we are on our land, we defend ourselves, and the Russians are attacking us. So it was a very not good speech. If you will find translation on the internet, you can hear how he addressed also the Russians.
Do you think any Russians will hear it? In Moscow, or no?
You know, you know this problem. Yeah. The Russians are very much brainwashed, majority. But there are people who understand, but they don't dare to protest and say anything. They just keep calm or silent and just watch what's happening. So far, I didn't hear any protests in Russia. Maybe I should check. I didn't hear.
What is the Ukrainian media reporting? Everyone from the Kyiv Post, which is primarily an English publication, online, digital, and traditional. But what is your sense of, you know, what is the media reporting right now? The local media?
They are reporting what's happening like every time when there is information about some casualties or what the Ukrainian Forced Army defended, or everything is reported.
Have there been casualties, Ukrainian soldiers?
Yes, already. So my friend, she is serving in Ukrainian army. She is in Kharkiv in the east, and she's the one who is listening. I don't know how to translate. So, and in her small town where their basement is located, the multi-story building was hit and a small boy was killed.
This is Luhansk or Donetsk?
It's Kharkiv.
Okay.
Near Kharkiv, a small town near Kharkiv. Kharkiv, it's in the east as well. It's very close to Russian border.
Yeah. When I mention casualties, any reports on Ukrainian soldier casualties?
Of course, there are already.
And that's been reported.
It was reported, yes. It was reported. The border servicemen were killed, I think 2, but it was 2 hours ago when I checked it.
And that would have been in the east, right?
In the east, yes.
Okay. So most of the conflict seems to be at this point on the ground conflict, not from the air, in the eastern part.
From the air. All Ukraine was, there were cities in the west of Ukraine that were hit today by rockets.
What was hit, do you know?
Ivano-Frankivsk, it's Lutsk, it's in the west.
Okay. But they don't know what was targeted, what would have been military.
Targeted military infrastructure, airports, military infrastructure, basement of weapons, all these things are targeted so far.
And this is in the west.
It's everywhere. West, east, central, north.
And this has been going on for the last 5 or 6 hours, right?
Yeah, since 5 a.m.
Okay.
Also in the north of Ukraine, where my family of origin lives, I had a call with my sister, and she woke up from a very big explosion in the morning. And then they checked, and in the north, in that small town, is located air flight basement since Soviet times. And it was hit by Russian rocket today in the morning.
This is
So
a
they target military objects,
okay.
definitely.
And what, do you mind if I ask what town or area?
Nizhyn,
Okay.
Nizhyn, Nizhyn, Chernigiv region, Nizhyn.
So there are explosions. American media is reporting explosions all over the country. That's
It's
confirmed
true.
by the press and so forth.
But military objects, not
Military
residential.
objects, not civilian objects. Has the president issued a call to arms for all Ukrainians to defend the motherland?
So far, no, but there are a lot of, first of all, in Kyiv, in Ukraine, it's allowed to have weapons.
Okay.
It was issued, and the reservists, know about it, and people who volunteer.
Okay. Okay.
So far, probably the Ukrainian armed forces are capable to do it how it is. If it will be needed, he will immediately, of course, call.
You should know that the American media has reported, and they translated his hourly update, the President Zelensky's update, I think at 5:0500 New York time, which would have been noon your time, 12 noon, an appeal for all Ukrainians to do something to support or defend the motherland. Did you hear that address at all at noon?
By Zelensky?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I tell you, he is doing speeches every hour. It's not a problem for him to do speeches. He is just recording speech from his phone.
I see.
So of course I do not follow every single speech, but I can check it later. I check it later because I have a lot of things to cope with now.
How are you coping? What are you thinking at this point, Victoria? Are you waiting? What is your plan? Are you simply waiting for the bombing to end? Do you fear Russian troops might appear on Ukrainian soil, even in Kyiv? What are you feeling right now?
I'm feeling, yes, I'm afraid. As I told you, I packed some things for two situations. For a very emergency, when you have immediately leave the house to the shelter. And for the second situation, when you have to leave country. And I understand I can't leave country now because all the roads to the west, where we border European Union, they are overstuck. They are simply standing, not even moving, because people in a panic rushed to leave Kyiv to the west.
Yes.
Those who have cars. So and we receive messages from government. It's safer to be home now, not on the roads.
Okay.
And it's more wise even for the help to military, not to block the roads. So far, I cannot leave the country. I stay in Kyiv. I know where is the closest shelter. Well, okay. I will see how it will go. I can't make plans today.
I can't possibly imagine what it's like to be in your position. And I can't. And in the most difficult of times, people reach for faith. And my final question to you is, the president speaks to the Ukrainian people hourly, and for many Americans, they might not be aware that Ukraine is very much an Orthodox country. an Orthodox Christian country, and what the Metropolitan of the Orthodox Church of all Ukraine says does matter. Has the Metropolitan in the last few hours made any statements or released a pastoral message to the Ukrainian people?
Yeah, he is doing it actually almost every day, again on his all public channels.
Public channel.
Yesterday, I saw his speech and praise for Ukraine. Yesterday also was a service in Saint Sophia Cathedral. Also today, of course, because for believers, it's very important here to hear from Metropolitan.
Yeah, it is. Okay.
Praise of support.
Thank you, Victoria. I don't know what else I can say other than to thank you for your time to talk to me, and I will send this Zoom call forward to other media outlets who might be interested in at least looking at it. Would you welcome a contact from other media outlets or not at this time to speak with you?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, because you have a story to tell. Thank you, Victoria.
Thank you for concern. Yeah, thank you.
Well, concern is
or worries.
yes. Concern seems so empty right now because your country is under attack, and we in the United States pray for Ukraine, and please understand that NATO and the partners of NATO have their eyes focused on Russia and Mr. Putin, and we may not be able to stop the bombing right now, but I certainly would think that, at least based upon what American leadership has expressed, that there will be some kind of reckoning. God bless you. Thank you for your time, Victoria.
Thank you.
Please stay safe. May I reach out to you again at some point?
Yeah, sure.
Let me know, and take care. Thank you again.
Take